Hi, and welcome to another episode of Honest AF Show with me, Daniela Clark.
And me, Barbara Ann Wild.
Miss Barbara Ann Wild. I always feel like now that Zach has called it out, that he has said Ms., I'm like, okay, it's Mrs. Barbara Ann Wild.
I'm like being Miss Barbara Ann Wild to you, so I'm good.
Oh my God, what a busy week we both have had.
Crazy.
Right?
I had actually the most
blissful
peaceful
week.
I had a blissful, amazing week at the beach.
Yeah. You were in Oregon at your happy place with your hubby.
It is the happiest place on earth for me. I think, too, because when I'm there, it's literally, I don't have to do anything. Maybe a couple of, conference calls, but for the most part, it's just about chilling and relaxing. And
you still conduct business, though, when you're there.
A bit. Yeah. Spáing.
Yeah.
We got to go to the spa again. It was fantastic.
I know. I saw those pictures and the videos of the ocean. Oh, my God, it was beautiful. It makes my blood pressure go down the second I see the ocean and I hear the waves. I'm like, oh.
It is the greatest sound in the world. It's so heaven on earth. And it's so inspiring for Zach. Every time we're there, he's like, I'll be right back. I'm going down to the garage. And he has his whole amp set up in his little rig. And he just has been cranking out songs. I'm
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's very conducive to his writing. So it's great.
Well, see, look, so there he thought that you were just spending money and building another beach house or a beach house. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, you were just contributing to his career.
I'm always working.
Always working. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Or I'm always having him work.
I like it. This week was so busy for us, too. The weekend was crazy. So we went to... there was a big chopper party at Peppy and Harriet's out in Joshua Tree, which I just love the desert, too. I love the ocean. I love the desert. I love it. Just the thing about the desert is at night, the whole sky, you can see the Milky Way, and it's just filled with stars. It's just so beautiful.
And it was hitting the new moon, too, so the sky is even blacker because you don't have the light pollution. It's phenomenal.
It's just so pretty. So we went out there for a big chopper party, and... we had an Airbnb, and I mean, there was I went out there. It's like, we're kind of like the Beverly Hills Hillbillies when we go on vacation, because I drove this time instead of riding the motorcycle. I drove.
You brought the dogs.
Because I brought the dogs. I had my sister-in-law in the car. The car was packed to the rim with all kinds of shit.
Oh, right.
And we trekked on over there, and Frankie's band played. They played the after party. Frankie and the Studs did. They killed it. It was so much fun.
Amazing.
It was so good. And, the chopper party that takes place at Peppy and Harry's, this is the third annual that they've done.
Oh, wow.
And it's Brian Bowen Smith, who we love. He's the amazing photographer.
Amazing.
And Michael Moore, who... him and Brian put this on together with Peppy and Harriet's, and it's just a ton of bikes, all kinds of vendors, and a lot of vintage clothes and fun stuff. And a lot of bands play. It was Paul Coffin. It was, I think I'm saying his name right. Probably not. I'm most probably butchering it. So he played, and then Frankie played the after party, and it was just a lot of fun. A bunch of our friends came out. We saw a lot of people, and then we booked it back on Sunday because it was mine and Gilby's anniversary, our wedding anniversary. And we have been married 34 years now.
You got us by 1 year. That's how I always know exactly how long you've been married, because we'll be 33 years in December.
Isn't that crazy? It's just wild. And so we booked it back, and Gilby and I drove back with my sister-in-law and the dogs. And then Gilby met me at the house, and then we went out to dinner last night. We went to Craig's.
I love Craig's.
It's so good.
It is
good. The food is so good.
It is good.
It's kind of a scene there. There's always like paparazzi outside. Oh, this is really funny. So we parked and we get out of the car and we're walking to, by the way, I was just in the most ridiculous dress. I wore this like black kind of leather dress that was way too tight. And
sounds gorgeous.
I could barely walk with my big platform heels on. And I was like, I couldn't even get out of the car. And so when Gilby parked, I had to like jump out of the car, and I was just praying that I didn't face plant. And we're walking into the restaurant, and some of the paparazzi that were outside were like, Gilby, Gilby, Gilby. And he just kept walking. He didn't even stop. And they're all kind of like looking at each other like puzzled. And I said to him,
They can't hear.
He can't hear you. He just can't hear. He's really not being rude. He just can't hear you. Like normally he would stop and talk to everybody, but
he was just face down, making a beeline straight for the restaurant.
He's hungry. He's a hungry man.
Yes.
Just wants to go eat. So we went in, and I love it there because of the booths. It's very old school, like old Hollywood, very old school. Which I love. Yeah. And we sat down, and I had a martini with blue cheese stuffed olives and
major festivities. So did you have 2 sips of the martini?
I had 2 sips.
Yeah,
I had 3
know.
Sips.
There's no Daniela ever finishing a martini,
but it was very good. And we ran into Donovan Leitch there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, who Gilby plays with sometimes in the Royal Machines.
Yeah.
And so it was nice. We got to catch up with him for a minute.
That's cool.
And it was a nice evening. And but it's like you don't go on like a date and scarf down a huge meal because afterwards
nothing's happening. No.
Absolutely nothing happens.
Nothing but bed.
Yeah, you come home and you're like, oh, that was so good, but I'm so full
not
now.
Conducive to romance in any way.
Don't do that. If you're going to go out on a date, don't eat that much. Maybe I should have like had a martini and like a couple leaves of lettuce or something, because after that I was like done. I'm like, oh, I just want to go home and just chill now.
And then I reminded you we were taping early this morning. You were like, oh, right.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus, thank God you told me. I just did not remember that. But we have a very exciting show today.
I know.
Because we have a guest.
Super excited.
Yes. And so, all right. So we have a guest today.
Yes.
And we're going to bring her out. She is an amazing, amazing makeup artist. And she has a couple cosmetic brands that she's been involved in. She, I believe, well, you know what? I'm going to have her out and she can explain so that I don't butcher the whole story. But we would like to welcome makeup artist Jeanine Lobell. So why don't we have her come out? Welcome to our show, Jeanine. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
So, as usual, our friend Allison knows everybody.
Everybody. Yes, everybody.
So I was telling Allison that we're having you on the show, and she goes, oh, I know Jeanine. I know her really well. And then last night and this morning, she was calling me, and I called her back on the way to the show, and I'm like, what's going on? She goes, oh, I had dinner with Jeanine last night. I'm like, okay, so you're like beating us to her? I don't get this.
Well, I told her I was coming out, and so she was like, well, maybe we can have lunch after you do and I have to go do another thing. So I was like, you want to come? I always stay at the chateau.
Yeah.
And the reason I stay there is because I don't have to rent a car, because anytime I want to see anybody and I'm like, well, I'm at the chateau. Oh, we can meet there.
Yeah.
Like everyone will come.
It's great.
It's so great. So I was like, want to have dinner with me?
Where are you based out of New York, right?
I'm in New York now. I've been there for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
I was here before.
So Jeanine is the founder and creator of Stila Cosmetics, and which is a brand that we've all
100%
known and loved for years. And now you have Neen. Did you sell Stila or?
I did.
Okay.
I started Stila when I was 29. How crazy is that? And I sold it after 5 years.
Oh, wow.
To Estee Lauder. And then I worked
there for like 7 years. And the whole time I was a makeup artist too and had way too many children. And then I worked on the Kevin Aucoin, if you know that brand.
Oh, yeah. I love the Kevin Aucoin
I kind of helped pull that back together because it's sort of fallen apart a little because he passed before it even launched. And then, makeup. And then I started working on Neen like 3-4 years ago. 4 years, 4 or 5. I have no sense of time since the pandemic. But I was puttering in the pandemic,
post-pandemic.
So I have so many questions.
Okay,
just with that. First of all, how many kids do you have?
So I have 4. It always sounds weird when I say it this way, but I'll explain it. I have 4 bios, as I call them. And then I have an extra who's a girl I knew since she was 12, and she lost her mom when she was 14. She had a dad and a brother, but, I became her mom. And, her dad moved home to Colombia, and she lived with me on and on. She's, and when my kids, they're like, how many siblings? She's on my arm, she's mine too.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
So that's a full house.
Yeah, but they're big now, so it's a full text chain.
Family thread, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And Barb knows all about that too.
Yeah,
she's also got her old brood.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
4 too.
I have 1. But what's interesting is that I started my company, Frankie B.
Yeah.
when I was 29 also.
Oh, wow. Magic
So,
year.
yeah, we were both really young at that time. And it is really wild to think about it. Like it was so long ago. But I remember your cosmetic line because I used to use it all the time. And what made you decide to sell it after 5 years? Was that just like your plan?
I'm not really a planner per se as a person, but I think that for me, it was sort of, I went to high school for 3 years, managed to graduate, didn't go to college, didn't XXX, right? And so, and maybe you had this experience too, when I started a company, it's like I always say I was 29 years old and found a whole other person living inside me. Like, wow, I can do this. I can figure this out. I can understand that. Like, I'd never done that, So, but there came a point, I think I walked into our warehouse and I realized there was a forklift and I was like, can I have a forklift? And it was a lot for me. I felt like I needed some adults in the room that like I had done what I had done. And, but I needed, to secure everybody's future in a different way. I believed at the time that by having a bigger company take over, that would happen, that it would be a more secure path, even though we were doing great. Right.
Yeah.
But there comes a point where you're just like, this is too much for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easier to work for somebody else.
Yeah. And that comes with good and bad, unfortunately, but,
I can attest to that 100%. But, and I feel you because I felt the same way. There was a time in my career where I started Frankie B and it just took off and it became a wild animal.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know how to hang on to it because like you, I'm also not college educated. And I started to think like, okay, I need to surround myself with all these people that know more than I do because I have no idea what I'm doing right now. This is a crazy company and I don't know how to handle it anymore. And then on top of it, you have kids.
Yeah.
You have a family to take
And I'm
care
a
of.
makeup artist running around doing people's, I just
How did you get started? How did all that happen?
The brand or the makeup artistry?
Well, what came first?
So makeup artistry came first. I actually went to high school in London and graduated. And my best friend, who was, funnily enough, Guy Ritchie's big sister, went to makeup school. And I was like, wait, what's that? So I went to makeup school. I was like, I need to know how to do something. And then I moved. I came to LA, and I just was like
Did you grow up in LA? Were you born here?
No, I grew up in Sweden. I was born in Sweden, of all places. But I came back to America, I guess, when I was like 21. And I don't know. I was just like, okay. People would call me, and they'd be like, "Oh, we're doing this music." I did a lot of videos, right? Video, and we're aging her. From this to this. Do you know how to do aging? I'd be like, yeah, sure. And I'd, drive to the Valley, go see Maurice Stein and be like, can you teach me how to do some aging? And can you do hair? Yeah, sure. I'd be cutting people's hair. I didn't know how to do hair, and I would just, yeah, sure. Kind of was like my attitude. And I've always had a very like, um, just do it, just show
Yeah.
up kind of person.
Yeah. I'll figure it out.
I'll figure it
Yeah.
out. Like I hear a lot of younger artists today be like, my worth and I deserve. And I'm like, listen, yes, this is all true. But if you say no to a job because you don't think it's paying enough, guess what? Nobody cares. You're at
somebody
home
else is going to get
and
the
somebody
call and
else is
take the
happy to
job.
be there.
Yep.
Any day you're putting makeup on people's faces, you're forward. You're moving. You're in motion, right?
Right.
Obviously, the people only call you for their free shit when they have money stuff. That's a different conversation. But like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I was just such a hard worker. And so, I started I did a lot of music videos, stuff like that. I don't know. It was crazy.
What'd you do? Do you remember?
Oh my God, I did. Girl, I did like Wilson Phillips, remember?
Oh, yeah.
There's pain. I used to do the Motley Crue all the time.
Uh-huh.
I did a lot of rappers. I did, Candy Everybody Wants, Natalie Merchant, that song. I did REM videos. I did so many. I mean, it just goes on and on and on.
That's amazing.
And it was fun. I mean, it was like 17-hour days. They'd make me be in the videos because the extras would bail. They'd be like, Jeanine, will you be a 1920s showgirl? I'd be like, are you kidding me?
But that's the thing. It's like, that's the difference, I think, of back then's mentality than it is now with the younger generation, is that we were willing to do whatever it took. Anything and
yeah. And I think people see too many things today as an indication of their worth, right? And it's like, just because I'm willing to do a shitty job doesn't mean I'm shitty.
Yeah.
It just means I'm a hard worker, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like they're at a disadvantage in a way. Just like show up, show up and let your heart tell you, not your head. Like if you're doing the right, you know what I mean? Like your intuition can be like, this isn't the place for me.
Right.
But if your head's all like, I should be here, Judy's there, this one's there, like it just messes you up, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
You and I are very similar in that way. So then how did you pivot from like, okay, I'm a makeup artist, and how did you decide I'm going to start a brand?
Well, I had a friend actually who wanted to she was opening a boutique. Such a funny story in Brentwood. And I was like, who opens a store it was the Brentwood Country Market. I think she was 20 years ahead of her time. But, and she was like, I want a makeup line in the boutique. And I was like, okay, I can help you. And she had all this, what's called private label, which is like, you go in, you're like, I'll take those 5 shades and you a 2-color hot stamp on the lid, my name, whatever. And I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, that's weird, So I found a lab, in, the Valley and, our quantities were so small. She was like willing to kind of take a chance on us.
Oh, wow.
And she made everything so when you make a lipstick batch, right, it's in a giant kettle and it's like heating and spinning. And she's like, I'll make it in the lab because the kettles are this big.
Oh,
so she really took a chance on me, and it really paid off because, Matt came to her after Smashbox. Like, we really
you helped
put
her
on the
grow
map,
as a business
right?
too.
Yeah, exactly. And to this day, when I go to labs, because now I'm small again, trying to get them to do stuff for me, I always say, look, you need to bet on a horse, right? Maybe it's my horse, maybe it's not my horse. Maybe you don't feel it for me. Maybe you feel it for this other indie person. You got to pick some people because the big people already have their people,
right?
And you have to grow with somebody. If it's not me, I'm good. That's fine, But if it's me, great, So I was lucky in that way, and then there was no packaging that I like, so I created like that paper eyeshadow, and then all the paper palettes that you see today, like I invented that. Nobody had ever done that before.
No.
Because paper, you don't need to make a mold. Molds cost tens of thousands of dollars. You could make 1,000 of those, and it was not a big deal. And it went from there. We went into Barney's, Fred Siegel. It was crazy.
How did you finance all that?
Well, you guys will appreciate this. So I borrowed 10,000 from my dad. I had 10,000. My partner did the same. And then, when we had, when we got Barney's and Fred Siegel on the same day, we knew we had to do some production. So her ex-boyfriend was Don Henley, and he had just done the, I always say, Stila was financed by When the Hell Freezes Over reunion tour, because he gave us the money. And it was just like, not like just pay me back whenever. So he gave us, I think, like $150,000.
Whose boyfriend was he?
My partner's.
Oh, your partner.
My ex-partner's ex-boyfriend.
Okay.
But they were really good friends, you know, like really, they'd been together, you know, those kind of relationships.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, he gave us the money. And that's how we financed it.
That is so
Isn't that
funny.
hysterical?
Yeah.
I know.
And did you, when you developed the line, the first line for Stila, was it completely just things that you felt were missing in the marketplace, or things that you...
Yeah, I didn't really think that. Like, I wasn't cosmetic industry savvy at all. Like, I just made things that I thought, you know, like that I would use. Like back then there weren't, like, for example, a lot of yellow based foundations, right?
I'm not a foundation wearer, and I only wore Stila because it was
the colors
also really good for sensitive skin. So I didn't know if it was specific that you were going in that direction.
Like, so as an artist, like I would have like this super yellow mixer, right? And I would mix it in every foundation to take that pinky rosy thing out. So then I could just make yellow based foundations. And a lot of people made them around the same time. We, you know, us, Bobby Brown, Laura
Mears,
like, were some of the first. Laura came a little, like 2 years after us. But, and then even like, I think a lot of things happened because I actually went to the lab. Most brands don't physically, I mean, they do it now for social media, but they don't actually go in there and make the product.
Right.
So I would like take the pigments off. So I'll give you one example. So you take like a baby blue eyeshadow. So shimmery. So that'll have iron oxide blue, and then it'll have like a mica that's blue. So it's two things, right? But I would go in the lab and I'd be like, ooh, let me put a little lavender. Let me put a little silver in. Let me put a little blue mica. So all of a sudden we made these shadows that nobody had ever seen before, because it wasn't like one with the layer of Jeanine, the same color on top. It was 3 or 4 different pigments. Right. And so people just, I would never have known to do that if I didn't physically go in there.
Yeah.
So that's how things became very culty, because they were different and they were really well made. And I didn't make things from like a chemist, you know, like put more glutamine, yada, yada in there. I'd be like, why is it not moving when I put it on my hand? Well, it doesn't have enough slip. Well, what creates slip? Silicone, oil, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'd be like, okay, let's try one version of this, one, and you know what I'm saying?
Amazing.
So it was always made from performance, not from like, you know, cosmetic industry marketing.
Well, you had firsthand knowledge being a makeup artist.
Yeah.
You knew how things reacted on people's faces, and you knew what people needed.
Yeah.
So
but I also think because,
difference.
You know, the way I supported myself in earlier days was I worked at makeup counters, right? So, you know, I knew like, and I know that like somebody's not going to be able to do this crazy complicated thing, right? So like if I make 3 shadows in the same family that are all warm in one compact, then you can apply it and it's going to blend and fade perfectly. Whereas a warm and a cool are going to butt up against each other, and you have to have more technique to blend that, make it right. You know what I mean? Like I kind of knew. So I was different in that way, you know?
Yeah, so you really had a lot of insight as a consumer as well.
Yeah.
And I think that that's one of the things that I love about makeup brands that are done by makeup artists is, you know, it's going to be good because it's
100%.
created by a makeup artist. It's not just a conglomerate or, you know, a bunch of chemists in a room or whatever.
I think this is really, we're having kind of a second era of makeup artist brands right now that I love my tribe, so to speak, you know, like, you know, Mary Phillips just launched, Hong Vongo launched, Bobby Brown did Jones Road.
Yes.
You know, it's a really interesting time. And I think if you look at the brands that are successful, if you're talking about business side of it, Patrick Ta does great. Pat McGrath, Makeup by Mario. It's the art, besides the legacy brands like the Chanels and the, you know, whatever.
And then there's Charlotte Tilbury.
Charlotte. I mean, because, you know,
to put it on
It's going to
silent.
give me a chance to cough. But I think that those are really because, and look at the ones that are closing are influencer brands
And
or celebrity brands.
Yeah.
What a Freudian slip that was. Celebrity brands.
Celebrity brands. I think that's a good cosmetic line right there.
But anyway, yeah, of course. It's like if you buy hair products from a hairdresser, if you buy skincare from a dermatologist, if you, you know, if you buy clothing from somebody who was a pattern maker or whatever, you know, like it's just, it's kind of obvious, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It is very obvious. So after you sold Stila and then you went on to kind of you stayed with the company for a while, but I'm assuming like as a consultant or...
No, I worked there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I wish. Would have been easier.
So did you, so now like in your second phase of being in the business, how did Neen come about and how do you like capture lightning in a bottle twice, you know?
That is the big question, right? Like, I guess you know, I'm trying to really, it's kind of mood dependent, my answer. You know what I mean
Mine
by
is
that?
too, yeah.
You know, sometimes. So I think there was a few things. One, I missed making things, you know, designing packaging or
creative,
just being creative like that. It wasn't like, oh, those are all terrible and there's this hole in this is the whites. I don't really think like that. I'm much more like it has to come from me, you know? Also, I think I had I had a little fear of empty nest syndrome, you know? I was like, you know, my kids are all going to move out and like, am I going to be like,
what am I going to do?
Is it going to turn into gray gardens over here? I'm going to eat cat food by myself, you know?
Love it.
So I was like, I think I have another run of a big project in me. So it kind of came from that. And then I feel like, you know, with Stila, I kind of did eco-friendly accidentally. It wasn't like you know, we used recycled paper, aluminum, glass.
You were definitely the first.
We were the first, right? But we weren't like on the soapbox about it. And then this time I was like, okay, I still need to be sustainable. You know, I am in my life, like, you know, I don't even say this, like my life is full of young people that like come stay with me. I get them jobs. We hang out, like whatever, you know, I'm a pretty inclusive
Well, you're very
person.
young spirited too.
Yeah.
So,
and very like, I hate this expression, but it sort of explains some. I like creating safe spaces for people, right? In my life, you know, like, so, you know, I have people, friends, kids who need you know, I had one kid there that all summer, you know, and she was working for me and I was like counseling her on boys all summer, you know, like I'm very good at making people feel like they're not alone. You know, I think that's my superpower, to be honest.
Wow, that's wonderful.
So
yeah, that's gorgeous.
I wanted to put that in my brand, like really, you know, create a place where everybody feels welcome, you know, like you want to be.
How did you come up with the name?
It's my nickname.
Okay.
Like little kids have given me the nickname.
Oh, that's sweet.
Because they can't say Jeanine. So they're like, Neen, am I in trouble? So yeah, Neen, and half my kids
really
call me
cute.
Neen. No one calls me mommy. Like I'm one kid, I have to beg her on Mother's Day. I'm like, okay, it's Mother's Day. Just say it once. And she's like, love you, mommy. I'm like, yes.
That's great.
I know my daughter doesn't call me mom either.
Yeah, whatever.
So so were you out of the game, so to speak, for a while, or did you stay in it and then start Neen? Like, did you take a little break or no?
No, it's been a big break. I mean, Kevin Aquan, I think I worked on that in maybe 2014, 2015.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I like I said, I have no sense of time. And I still worked as a makeup artist. But less and less, you know, like I just didn't really have I don't know, you know, like I did it at such a huge time with such huge photographers and actresses and stuff. And then I was just like, yeah, let the kids have it, you know, like you know what I mean? It's a different time.
Yeah.
But I still do a little bit of that here and there, you know, with people that I like or whatever.
Because like one of the things that we discuss, Barb and I, a lot on the show is now that we're of a certain stature in our lives, and we both have had some really big achievements in our careers. And I think a lot of our listeners, have related to this part is like you achieve a certain amount of success in your lifetime. And then how do you pivot from that? How do you find, the next thing that you want to do, the next phase in your life? Like, how do you get the energy and the ideas and feel relevant, and do it all again? Like for me, it was a big deal because I sold Frankie B. It was contentious. I wasn't happy about it. It wasn't a happy thing for me at all. And it took me a long time to kind of regather myself and be like, okay, now what do I do? Or am I done? Am I done? Did I do it? And am I done? And I was like, okay, maybe I'm done. And, I already did it. And I guess the next generation's going to do something now. And then same thing. My daughter went away to college and, started doing her own thing, moved out of the house. I'm an empty nester. And my husband's a musician, so he's off doing his own thing. And all of a sudden I was like, do I stay home and knit? I mean, what do I do?
Which you do.
Which I do. But you know how it is as sometimes as a, not even just as a creative person, but just as a person that's, driven or that has more dreams to fulfill, how do you then find the energy to do it again, and what inspired you to?
Yeah, I think that's such a big thing. Like, I think so much of this is about, for me anyway, in my opinion, is like mindset, right? Like, so some people can be like, oh, I already did it once. I don't get to do it again. Like I'm being universal greedy, right? Or somehow, or, I'm supposed to sit down now. I'm supposed to be like PTA charity lady now. Like there's so many things wherever we came from that we've been told and kind of integrated into our psyche that we kind of need to, unbox and find our actual true truth, right?
Yeah.
For ourselves. And I think that the great thing about having done it once, and maybe this is helpful to you too, is I have nothing to prove. Right? Like I have
you're proven.
I did it.
Yeah, you're
I
proven.
like did something mind blowing. Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't believe it did
As someone who didn't graduate from college or didn't go to college, you created a brand that a massive global brand wanted.
Yeah.
You sold to Estee Lauder. That is insane.
And I learned about business, right? So I wasn't just in the lab. Like I understand business now and production flow, forecast, like all the things you need to know, timeline, everything, numbers, whatever, cost of goods, or, whatever. So I think for me, like I say this to people all the time, in America, having not grown up in America, we're so programmed to be that the man, woman, whatever, who sells to Estee Lauder or L'Oreal, right? We all, if you start a shoe line, you got to be Steve Madden or you got to be Aldo. It's like, well, you could just be like that cute store that has 5 locations and your family goes on a couple vacations a year and people love coming to your store and your employees work there for 20 years and they love you. Like we're just not programmed to think that that's good enough. Like we're always supposed to look out for the next thing. So for me, it's just really about, I have a really busy brain and I like to channel my brain, for the people that I care about to be helpful and whatever, supportive, and also to be creative and challenge and push myself and learn more, right?
Yeah.
So if that's all I get to do is have my like little, I'm good. You know what I mean? I just love the process. I always say to people, I don't need to be smarter than other people. I don't need to one up anybody. I need to be smarter than a problem. Like I love kicking a problem's ass, figuring out like, how am I going to get around this? How am I going to fix this? That's a big driver for me. I don't need to compare and deal with what other people. I don't really care what anyone else is doing, to be honest. I'm just like, good for you, you know?
Yeah. That is so
it's a lot to think about.
Yeah, but it's really inspiring for people, because I think that you're right. It doesn't have to be the next greatest, hugest, biggest thing. It can just be something that makes you happy and that keeps you, going and involved and creative and inspired. And that's good enough.
Yeah, and hiring people and teaching them and mentoring them and watching them grow and get more confident and good at what they do. It's all part of it. It's all great. So I think anyone that's, of our generation, I think we're adjacent, or whatever. It's like, don't worry, just really dig deep into like, well, where do I want to be? Okay, I want to be there. Why do I want to be there? Because my mother always told me I should be there, or because Judy's there, or no, I really want to see what that feels like, right? Like, that's the key is like finding your, it sounds so hokey, but like finding your truth that's just yours, not programmed from society, your family, your friends, whatever, like really your truth,
Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of being of a certain stature, is that you start to realize that.
Sure. And when you have achieved something and you have some financial security, right? Like it's a privilege to not every day, you're just not having to like figure out how to get through that day, get your kids fed, take care,
you can make
there's a lot of privilege in this conversation, obviously, you know what I mean? But,
yeah, absolutely.
And some people just don't have the space to dig. They're too busy surviving to dig that deep.
That's true.
For sure.
Yeah. Moving on to Neen, to your new brand. We just had our in-person podcast recording, and you so generously contributed to our gift bags your brand new lip liners that are not even out yet, right?
I think they came out Saturday or Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Just on our website, though.
Okay, so definitely while this podcast comes out, they will be out. They are so wonderful, your lip liners. They go on so easy. I am a lip liner junkie because people think I have lip injections. It's really, I overline my lips. I've always overlined. I think it's like my signature. Dark eyes, overlined lips. I don't know where I'm going with that, but it's my
look good.
So I am a lip liner junkie, and I always look for lip liners that go on really easily, that are not like, hard to manage, that I can just put on in a quick second. And yours glide on so easily. They're so soft and velvety, and the color is beautiful. It's like a universal color. What are some of the and this lip gloss that you just gave us, by the way, Jeanine just gifted Barb and I these insane little pouches. They're so cute. And how clever, with these little charms with our initials on it.
Yeah, they're
a little
fabulous.
mirror.
Thank you.
It's so
cute, right?
Oh my God, it's so cute. I want to take the whole thing and just throw it on my purse. It's
there's a big, so that's the small bag, and then there's a larger one, and it actually holds so much stuff because it's silicone, so it's super stretchy.
Oh.
So I've actually even shoved like 6 lip glosses and 2 pencils in one of those before.
It's so
But the big
cute.
one holds
So
like
good.
brushes and mascara and everything. And I like this. So our compact, which I should show you, I don't know if anyone's ever showed you, is made out of silicone.
Oh, nice.
I actually brought one in my purse over there, but so which means that it has no microplastics. So if you toss it for whatever reason, which you shouldn't, it won't leach plastic into the environment. It protects your product because it's like rubbery like that.
Yeah.
So shimmer shadows and highlights. You travel and
everywhere.
They're like,
yeah.
So it protects your product, and it's washable and refillable.
It's amazing. Love it.
And I love the lip gloss that you gave me, and the packaging is so cute.
Yeah, it's so cute. Well, so that package is, so the tube is, I'm big on sustainability because
here's the package.
My house is full of plastic, obviously, like all of us, right? But there's a big difference between buying something that comes with plastic bubbles and I've probably made about, maybe like 160,000 of those glass vials so far is different than making 150, 60,000 pieces of plastic.
Right.
You know, like being a manufacturer versus a consumer, you know. So that's glass. And the lid is something called Sulapack. So it looks like plastic, but it's actually injection molded wood.
Oh,
It feels like wood. I was going to say it feels like wood. Yeah.
So that pencil, like, the reason that pencil is so good, because, and it took me so, I mean, I've been trying to make a lip liner for so long because, so when you get a wood one, right, it's not long wear because the volatiles, which is the ingredient that makes it long wear, cannot be housed in a wood barrel.
Oh, interesting.
So when you buy liners and they're in those either plastic like twist up or you sharpen the plastic,
yeah,
they stay on longer, but they suck because, you know, when you sharpen that plastic, it always
really
breaks,
hard.
it
Yeah.
smushes.
Yeah.
Or if it's laying around too long, it'll dry up and like the whole
Yes.
ink
the whole thing come
thingy or
out.
whatever
Yeah.
it's called, the lead will fall out.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is, our barrel is Sulapack. So you have the benefit of the longwear formula, but it sharpens really well. It doesn't
Nice.
separate. That's why it's so good.
Oh, it's so nice.
It's such
Do
a
you
good
have a new mission with Neen that different from Stila? Like, aside of the sustainability,
I feel like it's the same
Is
because
it?
it's just me, you know, like,
How gorgeous this color is.
you know,
beautiful.
be sustainable, like genuinely, you know, don't tell me you're sustainable because you printed with soy ink on your box. Like, that just irritates me. You know, you don't have to be.
Yeah.
You can't, you know, it's like you can't be all things to all people. Like, be who you are, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like being genuinely sustainable and transparent. So like on that lip gloss, the cap is wood. This is glass, but the wand is plastic because they can't make that in injection molded wood yet. So eventually I'll change that, right?
Right.
The cap on the highlighter's aluminum. The cap is plastic. Like, it just doesn't exist
There's
in some
certain
ways.
things that you just
but
have
it's so
to...
minimal compared to anything else you could
Right.
buy. And also, like, Stila was always like, you know, the 14-year-olds, 12-year-olds, like, saved up for it. You know, the 28 and up just bought as much as they want. The moms bought it.
Right.
Like, I don't have, like, people always ask me, like, what's your demographic? And I literally want to scream because it's like, stop putting women in boxes. Like,
Right.
do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I may be of a certain age, but, and we do it to ourselves, right? Like, you know, don't you, like, maybe you girls are a little cooler than that, but like, you know, I've put on clothes before and been like, oh no, I'm too old for that. And I'm like,
we don't subscribe to that at all.
I know,
I never do that.
but it's the voice of society that's been telling me shit for so long. And I hear it and I'm like, oh no, we're not going there. Like, I'm very aware, but this is something women do to themselves. And this is a way we market to, not me, but other people market to women too, you know, which is just nonsense, you know, like, you wear whatever you want. Like, for me, it's more about like, I want to have colors for somebody who just does what I do, like a little matte contoured eye and a pencil. I want to have some colors for you who likes like a shimmery, darker, smoky thing. I have pastel blues and, you know,
your colors are really beautiful.
Yeah, the colors are really beautiful and really
pigment's nice too.
and really easy to use.
Yeah.
Like, they all, you know,
Very
they all
complimentary.
stick, they don't fall out. Yeah, it all works. So I guess my mission is really like just to make everybody feel welcome. You know,
That's beautiful. I love that.
and we you know, we use a lot of you know, we use trans models, we use boys.
I like
we
that
use
in the
women.
beginning of your campaign when I first heard about Neen, which by the way is through a mutual friend of ours, Price.
Yeah.
So I knew about Stila from Price, and now
I know.
Neen from Price. She's great.
Yeah.
And you've met Price.
Yeah.
And so when I first found out about the campaign and I saw what you were doing, I loved it because it was so inclusive and you were having everybody just kind of play with your makeup and do their own thing with it. Like, there wasn't like a tutorial or anything. It was like, do you, and let's see what you come up with, which I thought was really cool.
And in all those tutorials we filmed, like all the people, we asked them to talk about themselves, tell their story too. And, you know, we'd be filming this stuff and I'm a little bit sensitive. So like, I'd be crying, you know, like we had one girl, no man, she just moved to New York. And so, her English, she was having a hard time. She's a Spanish speaker. And she talks about, choosing to have natural hair instead of straightening her hair, as a Black girl.
Right.
And like how that was in her culture, that was like unheard of. And, she's telling this story, she's getting emotional. I'm fucking crying, and, all different. One woman who we just shot again for our lip liners, who is trans, came from a village in Nepal, in the mountains of Nepal, made her way to India, became a model. I still stay in touch with maybe 40% of the people, like everybody telling their story was like mental health stories, with whatever. Because it was like, this is about you. This isn't about me. I got my own story, but like, who cares? Like, I want to hear about you, and hoping that like somebody can connect or feel a little, just feel connected to that person. And we put their socials up so people can follow them. And I don't know.
That's
so
really
kind of
nice.
like I said, I'm
Unity.
I'm a community,
Yeah.
I believe in community and connecting people. And, when anyone needs a job or needs to know somebody or whatever, like Jeanine might know. I'm like, hold please. And I always find them what they need.
That's great.
Yeah. So is there a product that is like your hero product? Would it be your lip liners or?
Well, they're new. So you mean hero for the brand or hero for me, I guess?
Let's have both.
Okay. So our number one product, I would say, is the lip gloss. We keep having to make more of those. Our trio shadows are number 2, and number 3 is our mascara. And for me, my hero is mascara, because that's my desert island. You know what I mean? Like
your one product.
Just give me mascara. I'm fine without everything else, because, and I think I made that one. I like really thick, fluffy, not stiff lashes. And this mascara is, I should have brought you guys some. I'll send it to you. It's insane. It's so good.
I can't wait to try it.
It's crazy.
As you're speaking, I realized I did not put mascara on today. So.
Really?
Yeah.
You see, but you're an eyeshadow girl.
I'm an
right?
eyeshadow girl,
right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like mascara and a little black
eyelash
pencil.
curler and mascara all the way for me.
Yeah.
So I wish I could be that girl of just eyeliner and a little mascara, but for some reason, I always feel like I need more eye makeup. So I've always worn, it's kind of my thing. I've always worn a lot of eye makeup.
Well, don't you think the process too, actually, I find like putting on your makeup kit is sort of self-soothing too. It's kind of like
ritualistic.
It gets you in the zone of whatever zone you need to be in.
Yeah.
And I sort of, just to say, like, I find so much of like the makeup being done that I see on social media so crazy, like I want to make makeup that you can look really great, but it's not like, unless you're choosing like a blue eyeshadow or whatever. But if you want to just look like naturally like great,
right?
Some of these products and techniques, like you're going to look crazy in person.
Oh yeah, there's so much contouring and layering and the baking and all this stuff. It's like what is happening right now?
There's ways to get there without all of that.
Speaking of which, are there any like hot tips for women of our stature, or something that we should stay clear of that wouldn't necessarily work as well?
Yeah, I think that, like, when our skin changes, right? Like we're like, oh, why is this not looking the same anymore?
Right.
Like I'm all for like tinted moisturizers instead of foundations.
I bring a new one on for Barb's Bag of Tricks almost weekly.
Yeah. Tinted moisturizer is kind of where it's at. And, I showed
I'm not
you
a foundation
earlier.
girl.
I'm not a foundation girl. I use tinted moisturizers, and then I use like a mattifier, or I don't use loose powder ever. If I use powder, I use only pressed powder. I only use, unless I'm working on somebody with a darker skin tone, I only use white pressed powder.
Okay.
And I use like a tiny brush, almost like a fluffy mid-size eyeshadow brush, and just put it very strategically.
Super shiny.
I find concealer really difficult now. Like people, again, we see it on, so they're like, okay, you put one line here, 12 dots over here. I'm like, okay, give me some more wrinkles.
Some of
while
those
you're at
road
it.
maps are so intimidating.
I know, you're
We
like,
see
this
people
is
with like 30 different colors and
no, it's
where they're
crazy.
looks like they're doing Lion King makeup for like
Oh,
Broadway.
totally. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's a good. So I use like a concealer. I only use it like right here. I don't go anywhere near this area.
because it sits right in there, right?
I think there are a lot of rules about like you can't wear shimmer in your, which is a load of crap. You just have to know where to put it, right?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
highlighter shimmers are really great for more mature women, you know, like put it on your lid, put it in the inner corner, you know, instead of putting like I don't put highlighter here on myself, I put it here. You know, just to like, you know, I put it here and here, top of the lip, maybe.
Yeah.
You know,
I find that highlighter sticks or highlighter is crucial for me.
Yes.
Because it adds life back into my face.
Exactly.
The reflection of
bounces.
light, is important.
Yeah, you got to just know where to, you know, these crazy, again, more boxes, more rules, right, for women. But things like that, working with the right formulas, you know, really hydrating, a lot of moisturizer at this point, right?
Right.
A lot of moisturizer. Yeah. Is there a product that you can't live without besides
my own?
Your own.
Are you talking color or skincare?
Probably skincare, I think.
Okay, so I have been using this.
I like that you always give me options.
I know I'm an option. So in skincare, I've been using. You know, you can see I still have. I'm working on it. I have a lot of brown spots. You know, I was like a shake and baker. You know, in my teens, right? So I've been using this stuff that this woman. Her husband's a dermatologist. I think they make it together. It's called the Coleman compound. And they're like these pads, and you have to saturate them with the liquid when you start using them. You use one a day and at night. And, you know, it's to get rid of your brown spots. And then I use that with retinol on top, and they're completely going away. It's so insane. And it's not like $4,000, you know.
Wow.
I think there's like 3 months worth of pads, and it's like $150 or something.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
They really work.
Yeah.
You just got to go through the like retinol phase of like
the peeling and the.
Yeah. So you kind of have to test yourself. I'm pretty tough, so I can do it every night. And then I use an exfoliant every day from Amore Pacific. Called treatment enzyme peel, which is super mild. It's not like a bead. You don't even, it feels like a cream. Just every morning in the shower, I use that just to get any dead skin off. And then I love, there's a brand called BioEffects. It's from Iceland. And I don't know, it's some kind of barley. The science goes over my head. But I swear on my life, they make they make a full face mask, but I use the eye patches. So I take the serum, put it on, and I'm completely smooth after I use them.
Ooh.
It's great. It doesn't last, but it lasts for the day anyway. They're the best eye patches I've ever used.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable.
Do you put them in the fridge too or no?
No, I don't. The only thing is they're like kind of, I don't know what they're made out of. They're like silicone, so they slip.
Yeah.
So you really got to kind of, you have to keep pushing them up. But I've never had an eye patch make such a difference.
Wow.
I've bought them in Geneva before.
The BioEffects one?
And they're so great.
They're incredible.
Really great.
So I love them. Another thing that I love, I'm giving you a whole list here.
I like it.
You know, a lot of us lost our eyebrows to the 90s. You know?
Hello.
Me, I'm victim zero here.
Okay, so I bought this for people. It's the Obagi eyebrow serum.
Oh,
it's unbelievable.
It
works like crazy.
You know what's funny is, well, first of all, my eyebrows all went in the early 90s. I was a bridesmaid in Slash's wedding. And the makeup artist said, I'm going to tweeze out all your eyebrows and just draw a pencil.
She tweezed them? She didn't wax them?
No, she tweezed them all out.
I lost mine from waxing.
Drew a pencil. So I had a thin pencil. And, you know, it was the whole Kate Moss, early 90s. And I was like, Anderson. Cool, that looks amazing.
Yeah.
I loved it. But then my eyebrows never grew back. They only grew back really thin. And I used to have very thick eyebrows. So my eyebrows are sparse. However, so a few weeks ago, I got a spider bite and I had this lesion, remember? And then my whole eye swelled up and everything. And it healed, everything went away. But now I have no hair. Gilby says I look like Vanilla Ice.
I like you do the little slice.
Yeah, I have like a little slice of no hairdo. So I'm wondering if that would help.
It will totally help. It's worth it. I can't even tell you of the people I know that I've given it to or forced to use it or whatever, combination of both, and their eyebrows have grown back.
And you just get it online, or?
Yeah, they have it. Like Blue Mercury has it.
Obagi is kind
you
of
can
everywhere.
find it though. Like there'll be all these like derm store that like sign up, get 15% off. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'll send you my friend sends them to me all the time. The coat when the coat.
Yeah.
But on you, what I would do. So it's like a mascara wand, right? But on you, I would use the tip and not go too wide initially. And do it this way instead of this way.
Right. Okay.
And just get it going.
Oh, that's so exciting. That's the hottest tip I've heard all day. Thank you.
Do you know Eugenia Weston?
I do.
Eugenia is a dear friend of mine, and she's Senna Cosmetics.
Yeah,
and Eugenia. When I started waxing my eyebrows in my early 20s, she used to say to me, please, just let me pluck them. You're going to be sorry. And for years, I was just like, because she was the eyebrow guru before there were eyebrow gurus. And she was infamous for the stencil.
She created that whole brow stencil.
That whole thing. And to this day, when I see her, she laughs at me. She's like, the microblading and the lash serums and the eyebrow serums, because I didn't listen to her and I waxed, and now they don't grow back at all. So I've done microblading, which I'm going to have removed and start over again because I do like some of it.
Yeah, but it doesn't age well, right? You have to redo it.
No, it doesn't matter how great it starts.
Yeah. No, you definitely have to. But try the eyebrow stuff. I saw her recently. Was it this? We do this makeup show together, and I met her daughter and stuff.
Oh yeah, her daughter's lovely. Her grandchildren. I know.
She's cool, man.
I love her.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you. That is a really good tip. Now, how can people find Neen? What's the best way to buy it?
Well, we have our website.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're in a few Blue Mercuries, 3 in LA, like large, but they don't carry the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're in some Blue Mercuries, we're in some limited range and some Nordstrom's, but the website's pretty handy.
Okay.
And we're pretty active in there. Like my daughter checks all the messages and stuff. She'll send me a picture of somebody who'll be like, she wants to know what blush is good for her. And I always answer.
Oh, that's
she's
so
love
great.
that.
Blah, blah. We're pretty personal because we're tiny.
Yeah.
We're pretty personal still. So.
And what are the prices like?
Well, the prices are really good. Unfortunately, in the new year, we have to do a tiny price raise because of those lovely tariffs.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I mean, all of our formulas, the mascara is made in Italy, but all the formulas are made in the United States, but nobody here makes packaging.
No.
It's
not
not
even. Packaging is so expensive.
But there's just no factory that makes it.
Yeah.
And they're not coming back.
They're not coming back.
No.
I mean, who's building me a factory for me to order packaging by Christmas? It's just ridiculous. What a mess, but whatever. So we have to deal with the tariffs. And then if they come back down, we would probably adjust back down. So basically the lip gloss is $27.
Mm-hmm.
The pencil's $24. Everything's around $30.
The prices are good.
The trios are like trio shadows are like $38. Blush is $29. Prices are good.
The prices are really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those aren't expensive
we
at all.
We don't want to be crazy.
Yeah. And they're so beautifully pigmented. The colors are lovely.
I know there's something for everybody.
Yeah, there really is. Wow. Well, this has been so
excited to check it out more.
informative.
Oh my God. I gave you all your tips. I mean, you can ask me anything. I got tips. I got tips for everything.
That's amazing. We love that.
What other things do you need tips for, Barb? How long have you been married?
I'm not married.
Oh, you're not married. Okay.
No, I'm not married.
That's a tip we need.
There's a tip. There's a tip for you guys.
I had a girl work for me once ask me, she was younger and had been married for a few years. She said to me, Jeanine, when do you know that you're supposed to have a baby in your marriage? And I was like, When the way he chews his food is driving you insane.
Oh, Jesus.
And she was like, you know what I'm saying?
No, 'cause Daniela has misophonia, so it's a running theme of our show.
Where you get irritated, like, you know, I mean, at this point, it's different, right? You've been together for, how about, did you say 34 years or something?
Forever.
But in the beginning where you're like, wait, I was crazy about him. Now everything he does fucking bugs me. You know, go have a baby. And it just becomes right-sized again.
That's when you're supposed to have a baby? I thought that's just menopause, but...
No. Well, there's that. Yeah, that's round two. That's round two.
That's when you're an empty nester.
Thanks so much for having me. It was
thank
super
you
fun.
for being here.
Everything.
And your website is?
It's weareneen.com.
Weareneen.com. Thank you for visiting with us. I know your time was limited while you're here. You're doing a bunch of stuff. We really appreciate
happy
it.
to meet you.
Love
Thank
our
you.
products. Make sure you check out Neen online. It is phenomenal stuff.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And then if you have any questions, you can just email them because the lovely Jeanine will answer you.
She sure will.
That's great.
Thank you for being here. And the Instagram is also We Are Neen?
Yeah.
Okay. So you check them out. All right. Well, I think that does it for this episode of Honest AF.
Thank you.
We appreciate you visiting us, Jeanine. And until next time, you all take care. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
We obviously need to do a disclaimer here, so we want you to know we are not doctors or experts by any stretch of the imagination. We are just a couple of gals that are looking for magical products, procedures, and experiences. And in our quest, we will share our honest as fuck opinions with you. So please make sure before you try anything we talk about that you know your own restrictions and do so at your own risk. Do not blame us for any of your issues. We're just experimenting too.